Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist at Large, if I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 76. Now with new joke technology and open caption for the humor impaired. Cissy Houston, Grammy-winning singer and mother of Whitney Houston, has died. She was 91. According to a statement, the singer was surrounded by family when she died Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time while in hospice care. She had Alzheimer's disease. Again with being surrounded by family. When will people learn? Born Emily Drinkard, Cissy Houston was the youngest of 8 children to the late Nicholas and Delia Mae Drinkard. In 1938, when Cissy was 5 years old, Houston, technically she was still a Drinkard, and didn't become a Houston until 1964, at which point she was no longer a Drinkard, but a drunkard. I think that's the correct past tense. Cissy began her singing career when she joined her sister Ann and brothers Larry and Nicky in the gospel group, the Drinkard Four. She was probably singing 10 or 11 songs a night for her supper. Youngest of 8? In 1963, with the remaining members of the Drinkard sisters, Cissy Houston, whose last name was Garland, formed the original lineup of the Sweet Inspirations, which provided background vocals for several artists throughout the 60s, including Aretha Franklin, Dusty Springfield, Esther Phillips, Lou Rawls, Otis Redding, Solomon Burke, The Drifters, and Wilson Pickett. She didn't become a Houston until 1964. As a first call backup vocalist, she recorded and performed with a wide range of artists across multiple genres, including Aretha Franklin, Bette Midler, Beyonce, Burt Bacharach, Carly Simon, Chaka Khan, David Bowie, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix, and her late daughter, Whitney Houston. Ouch, Bobby! Among many others. Rest in peace, Sissy. You were a sweet inspiration. Ethel Kennedy has died at the age of 96. The passing of Robert F. Kennedy Sr.'s widow comes days after news broke that she had suffered a stroke. Life is like a game of golf. The fewer the strokes, the better. Prior to her death, Ethel was the oldest living member of the Kennedy family. She and the late Robert Sr., who was assassinated during his presidential run in 1968, shared 11 children, including Carrie Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy Towson, Joseph P. Kennedy II, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the late Michael LeMoyne Kennedy, Christopher G. Kennedy, Max Kennedy, Douglas Harriman Kennedy, and Roy Kennedy, and all of this before 1968. Following her husband's death, Ethel continued her life in the public eye. She served as a human rights activist, founding the Robert F. Kennedy Center for Justice and Human Rights. In 2014, the Benning Road Bridge in Washington, D.C. was renamed the Ethel Kennedy Bridge as a way to honor her environmental work. Despite her final wishes, RFK Jr. wants to have her body placed in Central Park next to a bicycle. Rest in peace, Ethel. You and your womb have earned it. At least 16 people have died from Hurricane Milton, which roared onshore on Florida's west coast as a Category 3 hurricane, bringing tornadoes, powerful winds, and flooding rains. The monster storm forced millions to evacuate and left widespread destruction across Florida. Thank God Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation that erases most references to climate change in May, or this hurricane would have been worse. There have been 1,600 people and 140 animals rescued across Florida during Hurricane Milton, Governor Ron DeSantis said. 100 of the animals were rescued from liberal homes and 40 from Haitians. No, I am not going to let it go. 11 of Florida's Republican House members that voted against funding FEMA are demanding that FEMA fund the disaster recovery. FEMA, Floridians elected massive assholes. Michelle Fiore, a Nevada Republican politician who ran unsuccessfully 2 years ago for state treasurer, was found guilty Thursday of using more than $70,000 worth of funds raised for a statue honoring a slain police officer for personal costs, including plastic surgery. Plastic surgery? Okay, this is 2016, and this is now. She's been punished enough. A jury convicted Michelle Fiore, a former Las Vegas city councilwoman and city lawmaker, of 6 counts of federal wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, KLAS TV in Las Vegas reported. The week-long trial in U.S. District Court in Nevada began last week. Each count carries a possible penalty of 20 years in prison. Her plastic surgeon should get 15 of those years. The Supreme Court on Monday rejected the Biden administration's attempt to require emergency abortions in Texas when needed to prevent serious injury to the mother. Over the administration's objections, the court, without comment, let stand a lower court's ruling that abortions that violate Texas' strict abortion ban aren't required under federal law. According to what I learned in Season 6, Episode 13 of Law & Order, federal law takes precedent over state law. Apparently, this Supreme Court missed that episode. Doctors have said that they can't treat women who might lose organs or their reproductive ability, have uncontrollable bleeding, or suffer other serious health consequences without an abortion, unless her life is clearly at risk. You would think that the hypocrites on the Supreme Court would have more respect for the Hippocratic Oath. Mohammed Bahi, a former New York City official, was charged Tuesday with witness tampering and destroying evidence in connection with a federal investigation that led to Mayor Eric Adams' bribery indictment. Federal prosecutors allege that Mohammed Bahi, who resigned Monday as a community affairs liaison in Adams' administration, told a businessman and campaign donors to lie to the FBI in June and deleted an encrypted messaging app from his cell phone in July as FBI agents were executing a search warrant at his home. Bahi wasn't trying to protect Eric Adams, he was trying to cancel his subscription to BBC Quarterly. Vigils, commemorations, and acts of remembrance were planned across the world on Monday to mark 1 year since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, as world leaders called for an end to anti-Semitism and the release of Israeli hostages. The names of the people killed and kidnapped in the attack on Israel were read out in front of the Brandenburg Gate starting at 5:29 a.m. local time in Germany, when Hamas onslaught began a year ago. To commemorate this solemn occasion, Trump is selling Trump Torahs for $99.95. Am I kidding? This week on 60 Minutes, correspondent Bill Whitaker interviewed Harris and running mate Governor Tim Walz to learn more about the Democratic ticket's plan on the economy, immigration, foreign affairs, and more. Trump and Vance declined to be interviewed because they didn't want to be fact-checked. It's funny. Trump knows he's lying. We know he's lying. His followers know he's lying. The press know he's lying. Who is he afraid is going to find out that he's lying? Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirms that Israel assassinated the projected new Hezbollah leader Hashim Safieddine, who was targeted in an airstrike in Beirut last Thursday, and claims Israel has also killed Safieddine's replacement, without saying who this would be. According to Muslim tradition, it's the next person to say, I replace thee, I replace thee, I replace thee. In an English language video message to the Lebanese public, Netanyahu says that Israel has degraded Hezbollah's capabilities. We took out thousands of terrorists, including longtime Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah himself, and Nasrallah's replacement, and the replacement of his replacement. Guess who needs a gift card for Replacements Ltd? According to JP Morgan, our economy has made a soft landing. The Dow Jones Industrial Average powered to a new high on Friday and capped off a winning streak as banking behemoths ushered in a promising start to the third quarter earnings season. The S&P 500, in an effort to keep up with the Joneses, also hit an all-time high. The broad index gained 0.6% to end at 5,815.03, while the Dow rallied at 409.74 points, or nearly 1%, to finish at 42,863.86. The Nasdaq Composite added 0.3% to finish at 18,342.94, and less than 2% below its all-time high. And I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. So I guess I could be a Republican economist. J.P. Morgan Chase on Friday said the U.S. economy remains strong for both consumers and big companies, a sign that the Federal Reserve may have achieved the much discussed soft landing with lower inflation and healthy growth. The Biden-Harris administration did what few thought could be done. They avoided the all but inevitable recession. One more reason for idiots to vote for Trump and his disastrous policies and concepts of plans. And finally, in a meandering speech that lasted and wasted almost 2 hours before the Detroit Economic Club, twice impeached, 4 times indicted, unregistered sex offender, convicted felon, loser ex-president Donald Trump said he wants to make interest on auto loans fully tax deductible. Why didn't he do that during his first term, during his COVID-induced economic crisis? Trump didn't want to save the auto industry. The Obama-Biden administration did that. Thanks, Obama. Trump eventually meandered to say, quote, the whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president. You're going to have a mess on your hands, close quote. He was in Detroit when he said this. Trump has a propensity to show disdain for majority-minority cities, black and brown people, women, LGBTQ plus community, the poor, basically any non-white, non-straight male or female who isn't rich. If I can take a moment to address the men in the audience, especially the black and brown ones, I want to encourage you to think with your head, not that one. I want you to think with your lower head. If you're still fucking, you really should vote for Harris Walls, and here's why. 1. Trump is opposed to reproductive freedom for women. This means that if you get your lady pregnant and you aren't ready to be a father, guess what? Too bad, Dad. 2. If you want to be a father, if something goes wrong and your lady does need to have an abortion to save her life, you may want to start looking for a replacement. I know a place. Even if she lives, Trump wants to punish the woman for having an abortion. Oh no, bro. 3. If you're fucking another man, you're about to become a criminal. Project 2025 plans to criminalize homosexuality. You cannot fuck another man, but Trump can fuck as many as he wants, you included. 4. Embryonic personhood. As soon as that egg is fertilized, it will be a person. 9 extra months of child support. And what if she miscarries? You've paid that child support for nothing. And she could be investigated for murder. And if she's a suspect, you can be too. After all, the Trump administration doesn't know that you didn't help induce a miscarriage. And just being investigated can fuck up your life. So, young man, if you like fucking, and I believe you do, don't let Trump fuck over you. I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist, now with New Joke Technology. Thank you for watching Critical Joke Theory. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it. And please check out Dumb Way Past Funny on YouTube, Knob TV, and Spark TV. Also watch The Church of Last Resort, streaming live on Sundays on YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern. And if you're in Hanover, PA on November 8th, check out my new comedy experience, The Rowdy Runway Comedy Show. Tickets are available online at www.churchofsatirecomedyclub.com. Be safe out there, and don't feed the crazies. Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with New Joke Technology.